Hey everyone, on today's episode of the Agency Excellence Podcast, I'm hosting Jameel Zobane of J&L Marketing. They've been in business since 1991, focusing on direct and digital in the automotive sector. Jameel, welcome to the show today.
Hey, Chris, thanks for having me, man. Excited.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for coming on. So, jumping straight into things, you've been in business since 1991 in a space where agencies are popping up every day, and most agencies can't survive year one, year two, year three. What has been the number one growth lever for J&L marketing?
It has to be. So when you think about, we started in 91 as a direct mail agency. We did like promotional events back then. And being adapting to a full service agency that does digital marketing, we had to adapt and we had to do it quick, especially in a highly competitive industry.
Wow. Going from direct mail, evolving into digital. And are you guys still doing direct mail today?
We are obviously not at the same quantities that we were doing in the 90s and early 2000s, but we still do direct mail today.
Awesome. I've heard from some marketers that direct mail is making a comeback. It's a little bit of a secret sauce. Is that what you guys are seeing?
It is. I mean, here's the thing. So when you think about the 90s, a lot of times the businesses won because they outspend the competition. So the things like billboards and television advertising and direct mail, it was all quantity based, right? How do I send out 20 or 30,000 pieces? Nowadays, it's not about who shouts the loudest, but it's about who's the smartest with the data. So yeah, direct mail is making a little bit of a comeback. But if you're smart about who you market to, this idea of doing saturation mail, those days are over. If you can specifically tailor your direct mail piece to a certain audience and really segment that, of have a use case of why you're going to market to them, you'll win in the game, but it's not the same a large amount of a quantity.
Got it. Okay. And I can only imagine that you guys are layering direct mail on top of digital efforts just to maximize the results there.
Absolutely. Utilizing offline data online is something that every agency should be doing. So if we're going to do a direct mail piece and then we're going to do email, uploading that list to Meta or Google Display or Amazon Network and serve targeted display ads or social media ads to them, it's a brainer at the CPMs that you can get.
That makes sense. And I'm curious, you mentioned that a large percentage of your business is focused in the automotive sector. How did you decide to niche down, into that vertical?
So the founder of our company is a gentleman named Scott Joseph. So he's actually the J&L. And then it just so happens my name's Jamil and I came in about 17 years ago and now I'm a part owner with him. And so when you think about automotive, when it started, Scott was working at a car dealership and saw a need for more and more dealerships to do better direct mail campaigns. So it was founded based off of direct mail, serving the automotive industry because he knew the automotive industry really well and kind of found a niche of how to do those mailers a little bit better than the competition.
Got it. That makes sense. And the other percentage of business, where does that, what other sectors are you guys also touching on?
Yeah, we do stuff in the construction industry. We do some stuff in the home services industry like plumbing, HVAC, pest animal removal services. And we also do some in the agriculture industry. So the agriculture industry is very similar to the automotive industry in terms of the transportation. So if a dealer needs a tractor or machinery, they're going to search for that very similar to how someone would search for a new car.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So what does JNL look like at the next level? What's the vision for the future?
Yeah, so we've been fortunate enough that our company's been able to pivot. We struggled there in the late 2015 to 2019, kind of having an identity crisis. We had come in being at direct mail agency, and while we still did direct mail, what we were truly the best at was starting to become our digital marketing services. So getting our internal employees, getting our customers to see us as a digital agency. It was a struggle. It was a struggle for salespeople that used to make a lot more commissions off of direct mail to adjust to digital marketing where the margins are a little bit smaller. So as a result, COVID hit, the automotive industry took a turn, positive for our customers, but bad for an agency because they ran out of cars. Most dealerships, when you went to go during 2020 and 21, 22, you tried to go get a car, they were selling them at MSRP or more, and they are vehicles pre-sold for the next 6 months. So we saw a big dip in our direct mail. So it kind of forced us to change more into a digital agency, which primarily makes up about 80% of our revenue. So where do I see us going further? We're seeing a growth in our direct mail side due to our digital marketing. So once clients use us for digital marketing and they're wanting to do mail now, it makes more sense for them. We've been Fast 50 here in Louisville, Kentucky. We're going on our third year of that. So one of the fastest growing companies in the city of Louisville. We see our business doubling over the next 3 to 5 years. We have about 40 team members here at J&L. We serve about 1,200 clients, and we feel like we're the absolute best when it comes to digital as well as direct marketing.
Wow. You mentioned a couple of things there. You mentioned sales team. I think that's a big sticking point for a lot of agencies. So I'm curious to go there, to go down that direction to see, what are some of the challenges that you guys had maintaining a sales team, keeping the team fed and hungry, even, currently, because you mentioned post COVID, but how have you guys navigated the sales team these days?
I think our philosophy's changed a lot. When you're selling direct mail and it's more transactional, someone signs up for that mail piece, they wait to see what the results look like, and then they sign up another one. Despite popular belief, direct mail is actually very lucrative in terms of profitability for an agency. The gross profit is exceeds that of digital marketing in most industries. So our salespeople, we had to have an army. We had about 17 to 20 salespeople pre-COVID out there reaching out to car dealerships and other industries, trying to get them to do the next mailer with us. When COVID hit and we turned more to our digital marketing services, and that made up about 45% of our business, we were able to shrink our sales team down significantly. We have less than 5 people in our sales department now. And the reason being is when you're doing digital marketing and you're doing more of a subscription service or you're on a retainer, it's a one time sale that runs every single month. So what we did is we took all of that money that we were spending on salespeople and we put it into our internal teams. So now, for instance, I have a team of almost 20 people that just serve our digital clients in terms of account managers, strategists, and analysts. So that's where that headcount or that money has gone. And it's helped us out retain customers. We have a great retention rate at J&L as a result of it.
I love that. A lot of agency owners out there who are founder led on the sales side, they have a they have a lot of internal and obviously some external challenges with passing off sales to a sales team. I'm curious what your thoughts on that, Jamil. Like, what advice would you give for someone that's founder led and is like reluctant?
You're never going to be able to grow if you can't hand off things. So, as a CEO of a company, you have to be able to see the forest above the trees. Everyone always talks about that. And one of the mistakes that I probably made in 21 and 22 is people were reaching out to me directly, people that were friends of mine, people that I'd worked with before, and they wanted to do business with me. And what I found is if you can find the right people and you can hand them off, but still stay a little bit in touch with them, you don't lose out on anything. You actually grow as an organization and as a company because now they're not doing business with Jameel, they're doing business with J&L Marketing or your agency. So you got to be able to let go. The other thing is, if you're going to let go of accounts, don't look for salespeople to take over those accounts. They've already been won. What you want to do is you want to find somebody that is not exactly like you, but does things better than your weaknesses. So, for instance, if you're an owner, you don't have the time to maybe return phone calls back within an hour or 2 hours. So, how can I find someone that's very detail oriented that somebody can get a hold of that hour or within a couple hours? So that way, when you do hand off that account, you can justify it to your account. So, what I'd always say is, hey, I'm going to be handing off you to Savannah. She's going to take unbelievable care of you. I'm always going to be in the background. Feel free to reach out to me, but Savannah is going to be more available for you. She's been with my organization for XYZ amount of years. She's going to be much more detailed than me. and she's going to be able to take care of you so that way nothing falls between the cracks. Always make it about them and less about you.
Got it. And one thing that you mentioned is like you really edified this person on your team that you're handing it off to, just knowing, letting them know that they're going to be in great hands. And you're actually better off with this person with busy old me.
Correct. You got to do that. You got to prop up your team members so that way the customer doesn't see it as a disadvantage. Oh, Jameel's just handing me off because he's getting too big. But instead, say, look, this person's going to be better than me. And you still have me in the background. Like, hey, if you want to chit chat or whatever, feel free to pick up the phone. But your point of contact is going to be someone that's a little bit more reliable than myself.
Cool. Got it. Yeah. Great, great words of wisdom for a founder-led agency owner that's like grappling, with that transition.
It's hard. I mean, at one point, I made up 90% of our revenue. So you have to be able to flip that switch if you want to actually scale and grow.
Wow. So you yourself were responsible for 90% of the revenue and the acquisition as well, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. When you look at 2020, 21 during COVID, that I kind of put myself back into sales to build us back up in terms of the agency that we are today. So I've had to do a lot of these transitions over the last couple of years.
Got it. And what would you say now? What percentage is now kind of flowing through you, or would you say that you're responsible for?
Less than 50% now. And then the 50% that I am, quote unquote, it's under me, I have team members that are actively working that. So I'm not their everyday contact, which is beautiful.
Got it. Got it. And you can actually focus on vision, driving the ship and keeping things
Absolutely.
moving forward.
Absolutely. I mean, today, right now, is we have to be thinking about as an agency what we're going to look like 2 to 3 years from now with AI and things coming into place that you can't be spending your time as an owner or as a CEO or president being the one that's the point contact for individual accounts. You're never going to scale. You're never going to be a better agency in the future if that's the case.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Speaking of AI, well, actually, let's circle back around to AI. You mentioned something earlier about acquisition. So I'm curious, what is like the one acquisition channel that's been the strongest for you guys throughout the years? And is that still the same channel today that's serving you guys?
When you say, like, how do we win business or how do we
Yeah.
help our clients?
How do you all win business?
So in the automotive vertical, as crazy as it sounds, over the last couple of years, it's been word of mouth. So if you guys think about maybe your neighborhood dealership or your dealership in your particular town, a lot of them are getting acquired now by publicly traded companies or larger dealership groups. And one of the primary reason behind that is for car dealerships, COVID was great for them. They made really good margins. They did really well. So as an independent owner, if I owned 5 or 10 dealerships, it's probably a good time to get out, sell when it's hot. And then in reverse, these larger groups or these public companies had a lot of cash on hand. So they started acquiring a lot of these dealerships. So you're seeing a big consolidation happen as a result of that. So we've won a lot of businesses because we were taking care of some of these larger groups. And through them acquiring dealerships, they said, hey, Jameel and J&L, that's who we're going to use as our agency. Word of mouth, automotive industry, it has about 16,000 dealerships nationwide. We work with about 1,200 of them. If you do a good job, the network and the circles are small where people are going to pick up the phone and want to do business with you versus probably in 2017, 2018, a lot of it was phone calls to each individual dealerships. So that, and then we obviously do a lot of content marketing, a lot of B2B marketing to promote ourselves as the expert that we are.
Got it. Okay. And it sounds like your referral engine is at least functioning pretty well for you guys to be where you're at.
Absolutely. We could probably do a better job of it, but I think our kind of our results have helped. One thing that you've seen too this year, dealerships, because the economy isn't doing as well. Some dealerships are struggling. So people that maybe we talked to the last couple of years that said, no, I'm fine. My agency does a good job. They're starting to realize, hey, it really wasn't my agency. It was probably the economic conditions. So our phone's ringing as a result of that as well.
Oh, very interesting. So the economy and buying behavior was kind of propping up some maybe not so high performing agencies.
Correct. Because a lot of times a car dealership just grades an agency based off of how well am I doing, not how well are they doing. So when
Mm,
things are going well, they're doing record profits, record growth. They just give everyone the credit. And then when things start to not go as well, they start to investigate more. Well, where are my gaps? Where are my holes? Is it my people? Is it my processes? Or is it my vendors? So as a result of that, we've seen some good growth here in 2025 where dealerships and or other businesses have come over to us because they weren't getting the level of service and or the results that they were getting with their agency before.
Got it. It's good to be on that side of the equation, not the other side. I think it says a lot about you, your leadership, about J&L in general, that you guys are obviously doing great work if you're getting those phone calls.
Absolutely. One of the things that I always tell our internal teams too is clients are definitely more demanding today than they were 2 years ago. So maybe the client that only wanted to have the once a month call with you or every other month call, when they were breaking records, that's all they, hey, no, we're good. Keep it going. Let's keep it rolling. Where today, even our current clients are starting to see a little bit of a shift. It's a little bit harder to sell a customer a car or an EV or something like that. So they're starting to become more and more demanding, which is good. If you take care of them and you can help them out with their problem, you then earn a loyal customer as a result of it.
This might segue very well into AI and tech and how you guys are leveraging it,
Mhm.
because I'm noticing a trend, but I want to hear your perspective to see if that aligns with what I'm seeing and hearing, and then I'll share. I'm curious, how is J&L leveraging technology and AI today to stay competitive?
So I always tell this AI is like a junior strategist that never sleeps, and it's a team member on our team. That's essentially what it is. It allows us to be more efficient, better optimize our campaigns, and to do it around the clock. It's not replacing our people, but it's superpowering our team members. So, how does JNL use AI? Well, let's start at the basics. If you're doing paid media online, being able to create headlines for paid search, being able to create hypothesis for an A/B test, being able to analyze complex data in terms of pulling in all those CSV files and being able to give a summary of the data. We use it for negative keyword research for our SEM marketing. We use it for our email marketing to be able to help write some of the ad copy. We use it for some of the automations that we're building for our digital marketing tools. So I still think that we still haven't got to the point where AI is just running everything for us, but it definitely helps us out, helps us to be able to get things done more efficiently in a quicker manner.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. One of the trends that I'm hearing and seeing in the space from other agency owners and some individuals that are running, coaching programs or mentorship programs and organizations that focus specifically on agency owners, is that clients are starting to consult or are going to agencies for advice on AI implementation, on these things. Are you guys seeing that internally? Or do you have your clients coming to you and asking about AI and how and where to implement?
Absolutely. I mean, we'll sit down with some of our clients and it depends on the skill level. Some of the clients can barely use ChatGPT, right? They've been fearful of it. They've logged on to it. They don't even know where to start. So it's just kind of talking to them about some basics in terms of, hey, here are some prompts that you can do. Here are some how you can kind of create personas. Here's how you can upload your financials for your business and be able to give a full analysis of a trends that you've done. So we'll definitely kind of coach some of our clients on here's kind of how we use it. And then we have some more sophisticated clients that want to really go into our tools and say, well, how are you guys using AI? And we kind of walk them through some of the automations that we've built utilizing AI.
Got it. Okay, cool. So that aligns with what I'm hearing and seeing. Are you guys, are you looking this as an additional product or service or like consulting, or are you kind of bundling this into like their existing retainer as a benefit for continuing to work with you?
Just more of a bundle. I mean, we don't necessarily give AI training to our clients in terms of a classroom or anything like that. We focus more on the paid media side as well as the direct marketing side. But obviously, if our clients reach out to us, we're more than open to kind of walk them through some of the ways that they can utilize it in use cases. I mean, here's the thing, and you know this just as much as I do, they can just go on YouTube for a lot of this stuff. There's some great videos on YouTube for specific applications that will walk you through how to navigate Grok or ChatGPT to do exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah. YouTube University is powerful.
Absolutely.
So, Jamil, I'm very curious because we spoke business and agency strategy. What are the areas of life that you had to master personally in order to
It's a great question. I think one of the struggles that I had in my 20s was I was very competitive, right? I played soccer growing up in sports, and I always wanted to win, which was good because from a client facing side, I was always trying to figure out how I could get them better results and or how I could improve our agency. But I wasn't good at self-reflection. So as the older I'm getting, it's the ability to be able to stare yourself in the mirror and be able to know what are your weaknesses. You know, in my 20s, I always said I had no weaknesses, right? Or I would improve upon my weaknesses. But it's understanding what your weaknesses are, what are your blind spots, so that way when you're hiring new team members on, they can hide those blind spots. So that's something I've had to learn the hard way on is you can't do everything. You need to understand what your weaknesses are and make sure that your team can support those weaknesses.
I think that aligns very much with the vision that you shared earlier, having to grow the team in certain places in order for the company or the agency to grow and continue prospering.
In your 20s, Chris, everything's about I. And then when you get older and you get into your close to your 40s, I'll be 40 this year. It's more about we, right? What did we accomplish as a team? What are we going to do in the future? Because there's a potential that something happens to me. And I want to make sure that this agency continues to strive in the next 10 to 20 years.
Love that. What are some of the exciting upcoming things that you guys have planned that whether it's, a launch, whether it's, a big project that you guys are working on, is there anything that you guys have cooking in the background?
Yeah, and I brought it up earlier. A lot of times, the difference between a good agency and a bad agency is their ability to adapt. So before COVID, we weren't doing a ton in video because we were more of the paid media agency. The client would hand over to us the videos, and then we would do the ad serving on Amazon's DSP, YouTube TV, whatever we were using as a DSP for the OTT. Well, what ended up happening is a lot of our clients paused a lot of their marketing in 2020, 21, 22 because, like I said, they didn't have the car. But now that they're needing the cars, they're like, okay, well, I want to get back to doing the OTT. I want to start doing some of the CTV advertising, but they're not teamed up anymore with that local news station, that NBC or that ABC affiliate. So we've gotten heavy into video production, offering video production for our clients because it goes hand in hand. The better the video quality is, the better the results will be on OTT. When you look at AI, we just talked about AI, the video is going to become more and more important because potentially that Google search is not going to be as prominent as it was the last 5 to 10 years. So you're going to have to be able to tell that story. And the best way to do it is through video.
Got it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So what does that mean to your clients? Does that mean that you guys are, going out and supporting them with the video production?
Absolutely. What we try to do is offer flexibility. There's the clients out there that have the budget to be able to do full video production where we send a team there. We do, 8 to 10 hours of B-roll, then we can create multiple commercials from that B-roll. As a client, I'd always recommend if you're looking at an agency, make sure that it's an agency that gives you all that raw content. The ownership should not be with the agency. And then so we do that, or we can do clients that have smaller budgets of, how do we do something from our headquarters and create it as if we were on site? So we have to kind of do those two different variations.
Got it. But it allowed you to serve both the local, specific geographic region, but also nationally.
Absolutely. And I think now we talked about AI, how video editing can help with AI, how we can potentially replicate some things on the AI side as if we were there. So those are some of the aggressive things that we're looking at right now. We're already doing AI voice cloning. So in the automotive industry, as you know, these offers are only good through the end of the month, and sometimes they get announced on the fifth or sixth. So getting that owner of the business or that general manager to do a commercial or spot get it edited and get it done and get it released and still have at least 20 days to sell that particular car is sometimes not feasible, vacations and so on. So, what we've done with some of our clients is we've cloned their voices. So that way, when the offer comes from Ford or BMW of what the offer is, we can quickly have an ad rolling with that owner's voice up inside of 48 hours.
Wow, wow. It's crazy. I've experimented with the latest version of 11 Labs. I'm sure you guys have played with it as well, but like the tonality, the inflection, the emotion, it's insane.
That's actually who we use as well. But to your point, the previous version, what you had to do is, for the pauses, the ums, and you had to kind of go in there and do it manually, where now a lot of that can be done very quickly within 11 laps.
It's so crazy how fast the space is changing. And, I feel like us just rolling with the punches. And it sounds like it's been one of the reasons, as you mentioned, being able to adapt is one of the reasons that you all have stayed in business and been able to continue thriving for over 30 years.
You're correct. I mean, at the end of the day, we're really a MarTech company. We're a technology company that does marketing. And I think that's the biggest difference. 20 years ago, we were a marketing agency and that had very mediocre technology. But today, everything that runs the center of our agency is tech that drives our marketing results as a result of it. We talked about AI, staying at the forefront of that. Google's rolling out in beta right now AI Max. So the search results that come up on Google search, which is powered through Gemini, currently don't have any ads, but here in very shortly, those are going to have ads and it's going to be run through AI Max. And we're in beta right now to test that out.
Oh, so you guys are literally at the forefront of these technology advances. That's pretty cool.
Yep, you gotta.
Jamel, this has been a really fun conversation. Getting ready to wrap up here. Where can people find you personally, or if they're interested in anything that we spoke about here today, if they're interested in working with J&L, where can they find
They can go on our website, jnlmarketing.com. You can find me, Jameel Zobane, on LinkedIn, or you can email me directly. It's my last name, Zabaneh at J and it's and marketing.com if you have any questions.
Awesome. And we can link that in the show notes as well. So it's easy for everyone. But Jamel, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me, buddy.
You're welcome.